30 days. So imagine if you made a fundamental change in your eating habits for just 30 days, right? And it's not a new concept. This concept is done actually quite often with people with health problems. So people who have autoimmune diseases. This is something Jordan Peterson did to get rid of his immune disorders. His daughter's done it. But generally, the people who do this are people who are sick, right? They have something wrong, so they do elimination diet by necessity. What we're advocating for here is, imagine if, as a man, for 30 days, you can change how you eat, what you eat, you stick to it, there's no deviation, right? There's no alcohol, there's no processed foods, everything's whole foods, everything you're eating is structured, specific, and your meals are set, so there's no deviation, right? There's this much protein, these are your meat sources, this is the type of greens you can eat, here's the type of fruit you can eat, this is the amounts based on your body weight. All I want you to do is, for 30 days, I want you without any deviation. There's no going to a restaurant and making up a meal. There's no stopping, as we said before, go to a Wawa and let's grab something that we can grab, because I need a meal. It's set, disciplined, structured, along with your workout plans. Now, why 30 days? Well, it takes 14 days to establish a habit. From my experience, it takes 30 days to establish a lifestyle. If you can stick to this in 30 days, it will fundamentally change, 1, your relationship with food. 2, it'll change how you see food. And 3, you will realize that you are in control of what you do and how you do it. I've done it. You've done it. And the results were exponential for me.
Same.
So today we're going to talk about how, first of all, a 30-day challenge, which we're just about to implement for our group of guys. We're going to sit down. Each one's going to get their 30 days they've got to do, and emphasis on the word challenge. Yeah. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun.
It is a challenge,
right? But I guarantee you, if you make 30 days, and this is always the interesting thing, and we spoke about this in the gym earlier, is sometimes the reaction I get when I tell guys, well, I want you to do this for 30 days. It's like I've asked you to give me your firstborn.
Yeah.
Like it's 30 days of your life, right? You mean I can't go eat at a restaurant? No. You mean I can't deviate? No. And here's the kicker, right? And this is kind of a new one for me, and I've always felt that you need to get calories in, but I've realized, especially hardworking men, are very easy to skip meals.
Yeah.
They're very happy not to eat at all, and then maybe just have one big meal, which doesn't benefit you in a lot of cases. So the main challenge here is 5 structured meals.
Yeah.
All the way through the day. You have to prepare them. They have to be exactly the same. You can't skip. There's no deviation. There's no dairy, right? There's no alcohol. There's no soft drinks. It's water. You can add a little bit of lemon to your water if you want. Salt and pepper on your food.
Yeah.
A little bit of hot sauce if you need some flavor, right? 2 cups of fruits a day, as long as it's got the word berries in.
Right. And
a cup of greens with each meal. It's simple. It's the simplest, most basic whole system you can do. And the guys, I'm pretty sure every single guy in our group is going to nail this. And I can see that some of them are panicking in their face because, again, you've been through this. When you first see this, it's not...
I mean, it's hard.
It's hard. It's not... This is not easy. It's not a comfortable diet. It's not an easy diet.
You and I both have talked about this. We're pretty dialed in right now with food and nutrition as it is. And even for us, it's hard.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. Yeah.
But what I want to talk to today is the whole reason we're bringing up the 30 days is because the relationship that we have, specifically men have with food. Women have their own problems when it comes to food, right? So it's the industry does kind of lean towards women in this regard and their nutrition, and there's always a diet and a quick fix to kind of drop you 20 pounds in 1 week.
Right.
The kind of weird, all sorts of weird things. You've got a Ozempic now where you take a nice pharmaceutical product which causes 10,000 other problems to solve one problem which you could have solved yourself.
Right.
But let's focus on guys. The layman's lab is for the man to be better.
Right.
guys have a fundamental problem with how they perceive food, because we're wired slightly different. Like it never surprises me when I speak to a man and he's like, yeah, I've lost a couple of pounds, right? And because we associate weight with strength, right? The bigger I am, the stronger I am, which is not true, right? There's a difference between muscle mass, there's a difference between fat mass, but how a woman associates a low scale with health, men tend to associate a high scale with strength.
Yeah, I think a scale is a problem in and of itself. Like we get, like it's a number, and it's the number that's gauged by so many people, if you will, like medical professionals. I mean, I remember being in the Army where I was pretty fit.
Yeah.
And I was 225 in the Army with, what was my body fat back then? I don't know. It was relatively low.
Yeah.
And the Army standard, if you went on body weight alone, I was obese.
Oh yeah, BMI.
Yeah.
Body mass index.
I was not obese, but based on the scale and the way they judged it for being a 6'2" male, I was supposed to be like 200 pounds.
And let's talk to that, right? Because, I'm 6 foot, a shade under 6 foot. I'm clocking in at around 250 pounds, give or take 2 or 3 pounds, depending on the day, right? And by every scale I'm morbidly obese, right? According to that, and again, this is kind of where you've got to throw these things out of the window, because the BMI tells me that I'm morbidly obese, and it says my healthy body weight should be around 160 pounds, and I'm like,
crazy.
I'll look like a drowned chicken.
Yeah,
like that doesn't make any sense to me. So these scales of attributation which say, well, this is the right scale, it's based on a mathematical baseline which doesn't work for everybody, and especially if you're a male who really is working to be the best version of yourself. You're trying to pick up muscle, you're probably on some TRT, or you have high testosterone levels, you're eating enough protein to really fuel what you want to do, you're going to have more muscle than the average guy. But what I've noticed when it comes to food, and as we've said before, is doing these things in the gym is the easy part. This is the fun part. Hitting a chest day is the best thing on earth. Hitting a leg day is the best thing on earth. Then the rest of the 23 hours we ought to control what I put in this thing.
Yeah,
that's the real challenge.
And the reality is, like, going back to the 30-day challenge, like, my story, and I've shared this before, my biggest hurdle in life was the food.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I don't want to say I was afraid of it, I just didn't feel like I could, because I grew up as such a picky eater. There was so much that I didn't like, whether it be vegetables, there was so much that I told myself I couldn't do.
Yeah. And
so I think, and I said this to the group of guys that are about to start the 30 days, when I looked at it as in, well, I'll never reach, this is really what I told myself, I'll never reach, like, I never wanted to be a bodybuilder, but I'll never look like a bodybuilder because I can't eat like that for years on end.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to myself. I didn't like those kind of foods, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I would say and my wife would say, agree to this, like, I would say I needed variety in my food.
Yes.
And so she would constantly try to say to me, she's one of the first people to ever teach me that food is fuel.
Yes.
Right. And I just was like, that's bullshit. Whatever. I don't care. I just want to eat.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't I made so many obstacles for myself on top of the obstacle that was already there. Yes. Right. So food was truly my worst outcome, worst nightmare, whatever you want to call that. And so the 30-day thing came about, and now, I was already in a good place in terms of health and wellness when I did the 30 days. So I was mentally, I needed that next step. I needed that next push.
Yeah.
And you helped me lay it out. Like, we identified the things that I didn't like, the things that I did like. And my plan was really simple.
Yes.
Really, really simple. It was chicken, tuna, and I think red meat, and exactly like you had talked about earlier, a handful of berries, cup of greens. It was very, very basic, right? And so I did like a prep week, because there were a lot of things that I would do as I would almost call a vice to get me through, like protein bars or protein shakes or protein yogurt. Like, I would take a scoop of yogurt and non-fat Greek yogurt. And to me, honestly, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with protein shakes, yogurts, and there's a case to be made against the arguments, and I get all that. But like personally, that's not the end of the world. But it was the idea that I'm going to put food
first
in my system that's whole food, but I'm going to control.
Yep.
Not allow any vices, any sweet treats, anything that's basically, what's the word, like a reward.
Yes.
None of that, because it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And the idea with the challenge is that to show you can control what you consume.
Yes.
And when you do this challenge and you get through the 30 days, you will be very empowered and realize what you said to me from the beginning of what I did my first time around with this. You'll look back at it and go, holy crap, it's not that hard. How did I never do this?
Yeah. You realize, and it's that realization, if you've never had that, and you've never had that mind switch and go, well, this isn't as hard as I thought it was. And as you said, it's fuel, right? Yeah, food is amazing. It's the best. But I tell you now is, you will never appreciate a burger, some ice cream, something that tastes good as much as you will if you've dedicated yourself to eating and fueling yourself properly.
Yeah.
And then having that as a reward maybe once a week. In our particular case, it's going to be 30 days.
Right.
And you will never taste ice cream as great as that tastes in your life. Right? It's amazing how wonderful food tastes. And to your point is, fussy eaters, fussy choices of a food is a Western problem.
It's a Western
problem, right? When you have an abundance of everything, you can be picky about how you want to eat and what you want to eat, which comes with its own problem, is obesity, unhealthy food that tastes good, because I can choose what I want when I want, right? I have abundance. I can go right now to any store and choose any type of food you can think of.
Well, I think about my kids. My kids are picky, that's a whole another topic to get into at a whole different time. But I have made this comment to them before, and I'm thinking about when I lived in Canada. I played baseball up there in the summer, and I lived with a family that initially I was going to actually ask to live somewhere else, because it was a very poverty situation.
Yeah.
And they did it out of the goodness of their heart to have somebody stay there. They put me in a basement. I mean, I stayed in a little twin bed in a basement. It was not a good situation. A very damp basement. And they didn't have to make a lot of meals for us during the summertime, but they would make some meals. And I remember the very first time I had a meal there, the amount of food that they made for, they had two kids there. One was her daughter, and then the other was a native child that they fostered. And then there was me, so the mom, and her husband had passed, but they were very poor. And the amount of food she made, I could have eaten 3 times that amount for just myself.
Yeah.
And so it showed me a way to realize, like, she made like chicken and yams and some vegetable or something that I didn't like any of it, but I ate it all and didn't say a single word, because I knew that they sacrificed to make that food.
Yes.
So to your point, like, even just it doesn't even have to be, yes, it's a Western problem, but like, imagine being in a situation where that's all you had. You're going to eat
There's nothing else you can do.
You're literally going to eat it.
Yeah. And the point that, kind of always sits with me, right, is comedians have said it before, is no one in Ethiopia has lactose intolerance, right? There's no gluten intolerance in Africa, right? Because the food is so scarce in some areas that anything you can find is kind of whatever it is, right? Like, I'm going to eat whatever I can. I'm not going, does this have gluten in, or am I lactose intolerant? Like, you'll eat out of a trash can, right? And Western society, because of our abundance, has made us very, very, I'd say, very lazy and very, very incognizant of what happens in the rest of the world, or even in your own body, right? And the idea being is, discipline again is applying something that you don't have to do. Yeah. That is in the best interest of you, that you purely choose. There's nothing else. There's no reward at the end of the day. I'm choosing to be better. Right. And following this 30-day plan, and I've run it with so many different people. The result's always the same. Yeah. It's this realization of food's not that hard.
It's not.
Oh my God, look at the results I got, and I feel amazing.
Yeah. Like, and I really have to believe that the reason people see food so hard, I have to go back on my own experience on this, but I think the reason they see it so hard is because you like, let's be real, like, shitty food tastes good.
Yeah.
And it can be addictive, but it's this vicious loop that occurs too. And you go, well, let me just do it tomorrow. I'll get back on track tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think there's also this, like, mountain that you create in yourself.
Yeah, it's
that you tell you almost convince yourself and that you just can't do it.
It's excuses.
It is,
right? Because it's easy, because there's no one's, you don't have to do shit. The only person holding you accountable is you.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to put it off for a day, right?
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I'm not talking from someone who's perfect. Like, I've done this many times. I'm like, I'll start tomorrow. Oh, I had this, so I'll just eat what I want. And we've all done it.
Yeah.
But the difference between then and now is when I do that now, I'm going, I know what the results of this.
Yeah.
I've been through the discipline point, so I know what the pros and cons are. But if you've never actually experienced the pros and cons because you never applied the discipline, how would you know?
Yeah, and I think like, the reality is, we've talked about tuna a lot. Tuna, like, in the grand scheme, it doesn't taste good.
Let's just rephrase. We're talking about canned tuna.
Canned tuna, specifically.
Canned tuna is it's dry. We're not talking about flavored. We're not adding mayonnaise.
Yeah.
You're talking about eating dried canned tuna out of the can.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it, whether you're in a pinch, maybe you made an honest choice to say that's going to be part of my meal plan. In our case, we're making it a part of our meal plan to have some tuna.
And just to be clear, we're definitely looking at low mercury. We're not, it's a very, very specific choice of tuna.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't taste good.
It doesn't. And in the end, here's what happens. Like, we use that example, and we talked about this example in the gym with somebody that we know. And a lot of people do this. I'm busy all day and I forget to eat, or I don't have time to meal prep. We talked about meal prep a lot. It's really not hard to meal prep, but people make it way more difficult than it needs to be. But going back to your choices, if you're busy and you didn't pack your meals and you're like, well, I got to eat, what do I do? And you go to Wawa and you grab a soda and some chips or whatever you can grab your hands on.
Especially when you're hungry.
You don't even care.
Yeah, when you're not
just
hungry,
grab whatever.
Yeah, and here's the thing is, why 5 meals? Because you're going to have enough food. Mm-hmm. It's not like we're not starving you, right? We're just limiting your choices on what you can eat.
Well, and I think cravings is something people battle, because when you do get strict and you go on the 30 days, the first week's going to be the hardest. But going back to, like, using tuna, instead of, like, when I go to Wawa and I'm panicking and I just grab whatever I can get my hands on, if I get a couple cans of tuna and I sit in my truck by myself, drink my water and eat my tuna, at the end of the cans of tuna, I'm going to feel a couple things.
Yes.
I'm going to feel really good that I made a good choice.
Yes.
I'm going to feel satisfied, so the hunger is not going to be there like it once was. And then I'm going to reflect and have the high of, man, I could have easily caved under pressure right there, and I didn't. So now I'm empowered to want to keep going.
Yes.
And that's, I think, what's really important is once you realize, and again, going back to the 30 days in whole, when you hit that 31st day and have your meals, or your cheat meal, refeed, whatever you want to call it, you earned it.
Yes.
And it's going to taste amazing. And it teaches you now, when you go into a regular plan and you're eating really, really well for 85 to 95% of your week, and you earn that meal on Saturday night or whatever day you choose, you can have fun with it, but it tastes really good. Dude, and you really, truly earned it.
And as you say, you earned it, but there's more to just, because what we're talking about now is it's a nice mental break. The reason the 30 days is a challenge. Once you start structuring this into a normal behavioral system whereby you implement what we call the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of your diet is clean, whole food, consistent. 20% you can add in alternatives, and that's where you could do something like a cheat meal, right?
Yeah.
And you usually do that on a Friday, Saturday night. You take your significant other with you. You have a great meal. You got kids, you take them with you. Have ice cream. You really enjoy it, right? Because I truly believe, one, mentally it gives you a break from that, because this is nothing to do with physical. Your body's going to be okay. Your body's fine. Your body's loving this. Yeah. Your mind is going to crack.
Right.
It's your mind that cracks. Those meals keep you in line, but the important factor here is, before you get to that, it's important to reset, one, your metabolic rate, right? So how your body processes food. We're doing essentially what we're doing is an elimination diet, right? Because when it comes to foods that make you feel good, most people, if they've never done something like this, don't really know what foods work for them and what foods don't. Because you just eat everything, right? Once you eliminate to base proteins, base greens, simple fruits, right? In this particular case, it's anything with the word berry. It's strawberries, raspberries. Those are the type of things you want to eat. But once you eliminate, you'll then get to the end of the 30 days and go, I'm going to have a protein shake. Protein shake. Ooh, I don't feel so good. Now, here's the thing.
I don't have that same example. I can't say that.
Now, here's the thing. I've got nothing wrong. I have nothing against protein shakes. I think they're a great supplementation, especially the right type. But now you have to be cognizant of what's in that protein shake. Because go read the label. Yeah. Right? How much processing? How many chemicals?
There's a lot of bad proteins out there.
You know what I mean? So you've got to be cognizant of, say, is like the same way as, if we're one thing is you've got to, people are so careful, about, this morning we had a wonderful presentation by one of our chiropractors, and she brought up a very good point. And she was saying, no one trusts chiropractors, but you'll take every type of drug, pharmaceuticals, throw at you and throw it in your body. And you don't know what's in there, and you don't know what else it's doing to you. Mm-hmm. And she makes a good point, and this is the same thing, right? Like, you regulate everything we do, right? You're choosing to see what I'm putting in my body. Mm-hmm. And if what you're putting in your body has more than 3 ingredients, you need to reassess what you're doing. I heard Gary Breck had an amazing podcast, right? I'm going to post it on here because the podcast was about nutrition and good food sources, right? And one of the statements he made was, if I'm reading the back of a label, right, and there's an ingredient there that I cannot find on the shelf in a store, I shouldn't eat it. So let's use a simple one, maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is a starchy, basically a supplement, a carbohydrate supplement. It's a type of a sugar. Maltodextrin is used to give on potato chips. It gives them a type of flavoring, and they use it to enhance the flavor. I can't buy maltodextrin on the shelf. Why am I eating it? If I can't buy it in the food store, why am I eating it? Right? And that's the simplest one. You can actually buy maltodextrin online if you want to. Yeah. Now let's talk at start looking at those names that I can't even pronounce. Mm-hmm. Right? Massive chemical names. I can't find on the store shelf. Why am I putting it in my body? Yeah. So the idea is I'm not saying you have to stay off processed food the rest of your life, but processing is a problem in food because it's a chemical process to get it there. Eliminating processed foods is going to allow your body, first of all, you're going to reset your gut. Your second brain is going to get a new kick in of how to reset, right? Mm-hmm. Your gut biome is going to all of a sudden bloom in the right ways and not the wrong ways. Yeah. You're going to realize that you are in control of what you're doing. Mentally, you're going to have to work at holding off cravings and holding off wanting to do because that's all you've ever done. Yeah. And once you hit past 14 days, it becomes a little bit easier, but still difficult. As you get to the 30 days, it starts catching up to you, but you've done 30 days. You've reset all of those mechanisms. You've mentally reset. Yeah. You physically reset.
I think the mental reset's the most important.
I agree with you 100%. Is we're not in touch. What I'm trying to get people to kind of think in their head, a great advocate for this would be Barbara O'Neill. Barbara O'Neill is a holistic nutrition and science expert. She's completely off. She hates pharmaceuticals, right? And she's a great listen if you want to hear about specifics of how to listen to your body. And she's an advocate of listening to your body, right? Most of us do not listen to our body, or we don't know how. Yeah. And part of the reason you don't know how is, think of a morbidly obese person, right? Mm-hmm. I was watching a TikTok video the other day, which was absolutely insane. It's basically a woman who weighs like 300-400 pounds. She's massively overweight, right? Again, if she's happy, I don't care. So no post that. But however, you cannot argue that she's unhealthy. Yeah, right. So all good. And she's now talking about the levels of privilege you have. The thinner you have, the more privilege you have, because I can fit in an airline seat. And I'm sitting and listening to what she's saying, like, but you control this. You are in control.
You did that to yourself.
Nobody did. One, you did it to yourself. Two, you can undo it.
You can.
Right, you can 100% undo it.
You can.
It's all by choice. Now, you're talking about privilege while you're someone who probably consumes 10,000 calories a day. Yeah. Control those calories. Have some discipline in what you do. Control how you live your life. And for us is that person. Now, my imagination is, I've never been morbidly obese, right? I've packed on some fat in my life and bulking cycles, but I've never been morbidly obese. But I remember there was one time in my life where I was trying to really pack on mass, and I did it a little bit of a stupid way, and I just ate whatever I could, and I went over 300 pounds. I felt like I was going to die. It was the worst feeling I have ever had in my body. Everything was lagging. I felt horrible.
Struggled.
It's really bad, right? So, but coming from being in shape, and then again, it's not like I wasn't training, but that was just carrying weight. Now, a person who's morbidly obese, they don't know any other way to feel.
Well, I mean, I remember, when I was overweight in the corporate place, and my body hurt a lot, right? And so, if you just think about what 50 less pounds would do to how your frame feels, and I think, like the person that's obese, for example, let's use that person. I think what saddens me to no end with them is that they're basically justifying themselves
being
and
unhealthy,
being unhealthy,
and then jumping on anybody for telling them they're unhealthy, and then saying no, it's not. This is normal.
And I just think it's sad because ultimately you're so limited on. I know this, like, in an experience to a certain degree, and I wasn't even obese. Like, I was overweight, but I wasn't obese. I was still very able to do things. But my knees hurt so much, and my knees are from injuries in sports and military.
Yeah.
Okay, that's real. But at the same time, like I would find myself having a hard time getting up and down to help my kids, to give them a bath, to just basic everyday life, and I was just like, man, I can't even. At that time, maybe 35 to 40 years old is when it was really bad. I was like, I can't imagine. If this is how I feel today, like, what am I going to be like at 70?
Yeah.
Am I going to be one of those guys in a wheelchair if I don't change, if I don't do something about this? So I still have trouble. Mine, they ache a lot. Like, I still have a lot of aches if I don't take my joint vitamins.
Yeah.
If I don't take my joint health vitamins, I ache. I've experienced that. If I don't take all my stuff, and if I don't train, I train, but I just see it as, so think of that person who's morbidly obese, like you have ailments, you have things that are bothering you, and you're just convincing yourself that you're less privileged. Well, there's a lot of factors that go into this, but you have access to just as much information as anybody else.
And you were responsible for the action.
And the other thing for me, and I'm thinking of a family that I know of, and I won't, there's probably they don't listen to this thing. There's no connection to them listening to this. I'm not going to say names or anything, but they have a child who's obese already, and they're obese themselves as the parent.
Yeah.
And it just really saddens me to see stuff like that. It really hurts my heart because I feel for that child so much, because I know that child is already getting bullied.
Yeah.
And they're dealing with things of that nature. And if you're two parents and you're working and you have even just half about money, cut out some Chick-fil-A or McDonald's visits and invest in nutritional education. Yeah. Learn what you need to do to make a change to better your lives, because that poor child, even them as parents, the amount of pain and suffering that you're going to have to deal with because of dealing with obesity,
it's a lot.
It could easily be replaced by investing in your health, by choosing to do better with what you put in your mouth.
Yeah.
And to say that, well, I could easily say, like, I grew up in a house that there was no working out, there was no food, there was no meal or food plans. Like, I think you had similar, where it's easy to make that your excuse, but it's just that. It's an excuse. And you could easily find answers. In 2025, you have fingertip technology that could help you with anything you need. Get into Grok, ChatGPT, whatever, and tell it what you need, and it can help you.
Yeah.
And it can even hold you accountable. You could literally tell it to help, hold you accountable to this.
I would say there's never been an excuse, but in all of history, the least amount of excuses are now. But you make so let's take your example, right? So we're talking about Kevin, a guy who just told us he was 225 pounds in the military, in shape. So you've been in shape.
Yeah.
You know the difference between how you feel in shape and how you feel out of shape,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
Imagine you have never, ever been in shape. Imagine you that little girl you're talking about, right? You've never felt anything else than obesity, than eating whatever you want, than having that feeling, right? So feeling shit is your normal.
Yeah.
You have no other point of view. So I want everyone to obviously take the road of health, right? In the bigger scheme of things, and
can I make a quick point to that? Like, the reality for those people, ailments occur, they go to a doctor. Mm-hmm. What's a doctor do? They write a script for something to address the ailment, and it creates
not
this
the root cause.
Yeah, and it creates this vicious cycle.
Yes.
And so you actually never know what you should feel like. Because your obesity has made you feel like shit. And then you get a prescription for something that's caused by the obesity that adds and complicates things. Yes. And then you're just on this vicious loop and cycle.
Yeah, it's just never ending.
What is regular? What is normal for you? And you don't know. Because
you have no point of reference.
You have no point of reference.
And I have empathy for that. I can tell you, I feel for you, but in the same breath, I'm sitting here and telling you. And this is the same thing we tell to the guys in our group. I honestly, I'm here to try and help as many people as possible. But in the same breath, I can't help you if you don't want to help yourself, because 100%. I can't sit there at your house and feed you. I can't tie you up and say, don't eat that. You have to make these choices for yourself, right? If you are obese, right? If you're listening to this and you are obese, right? And you're a happy person, and you're a healthy person, which kind of the two don't go together. Obese and health do not go together. But if you're happy with who you are and go, I am all for that.
All right.
Right. However, would you, even though you're happy, would you want to be healthier? Why would you not want to be?
Yeah.
So if you feel that way, or you don't know what that feeling is, right? And if you have never done an exercise program, you've never followed an eating program, and maybe this is from childhood and it's something you grew into, right? I'm telling you now, when you start, it's going to hurt. It's not going to feel comfortable.
Of course.
But like anything in life, nothing comes with comfort. But
100%.
The end of this is because online, right? So I see two opposing views here. I've got the one view where we have the fat positivity movement, right? Which says that they're less privileged because they're fat despite it's theirs. Calling obesity a disease, I absolutely detest it, because a disease is something that happens to you. You did this to you. You are controlling this. Mm-hmm. So it cannot be a disease, right? Your health is in check. Your future self is in check. And then on the other side of the spectrum, I have these guys that have had the exact same experience as you. Guys and women, right? They grew up eating whatever they want. They're morbidly obese. Some of them weigh close to 500 pounds, and then they grab themselves and they start going to the gym, or they start taking a walk, or they start doing something to change. And for a lot of them, it might take them 2 years, right? And then you see this person drop down 300-400 pounds, and they feel better. Now, again, because of all the weight, again, there's hanging skin, and there's a lot of things to deal with. But I have so much respect for the fact that you went, I will not accept this as my normal. And I am going to take steps to be better. Like I'm your cheerleader.
You knew who Jelly Roll is, right?
Yeah.
You seen his journey?
Yeah, look how much he's lost.
Dude, he looks so much better.
He looks amazing. He says he feels amazing. So this is what we want. It's not about, and again, it's not about, I've said this in multiple podcasts, it's not about having a six-pack. It's nice to have a six-pack. It's a great, if you have one, if you've never had one, and if you have had one, you'll know it feels great to be able to take your shirt off, go, hey, check your six. It feels great.
Right.
But it's not what it's about.
Right.
It's just a feeling. Health. It's just a nice thing. It's about your health.
Well, to me, it's about, like, my time on this planet is going to be as best as I can make it by focusing on what I put into my body.
Yes.
You know, and I think, you made me think of a thought, like, around food again. So I was a kid, and my kids laugh when we go see my parents. We were just up there a couple of weeks ago, and there's old pictures on the wall of me when I was playing sports and stuff, and they're like, man, Dad, you were skinny back in the day. I'm like, yeah, like I was small and skinny, right? And I would always get asked, like my parents would get asked, like, don't you feed this kid? Like, look how tiny he is. Yeah. You know, I was always really small. And they would be like, he eats everything in sight. And they would like feed me the more food they could because they wanted me to grow, right? Well, what happened with that as a result, it was also, so yes, I was picky, but the foods that I did like, I ate a lot of that.
Yes.
So I didn't learn portion control. And like I would go, like I remember like McDonald's or something, man, I'd get like 4 cheeseburgers and like 2 large fries and pound that thing without batting an eye, and I'd never put weight on. And I could easily put
as much as you want.
I would. And so then, even through college, like I was still able to eat a ton of food because of how much I was active, and how much I did, and how much I burned. And now I never, aesthetically, like I never looked like I lifted, weights like a bodybuilder or anything. But I was in shape. I was lean, but I wasn't like I never had the bodybuilder type look. I was an athlete, right? So I always had an athletic look. But the problem is the food habits that I had were awful, and I basically learned to eat until I'm stuffed, and not satisfied, and so I didn't really see food as fuel. I just ate.
You trained yourself to do that,
and I trained myself to do that, and so that's why I think what's really important, and one of the things that we try to do with our children, is truly educate them around food and the necessity of it, the reason behind it, the why, especially when it comes to like sugar and the bad things for us. Like, it tastes really good to eat pizza and cake. It's like delicious.
Don't lie to people. It does. It tastes great.
Wonderful.
A lot of it's bad for you, and it's bad. And again, it's not bad for you in the right amounts. I'm the first one to tell you. I had pizza over the weekend. It was amazing.
Well, we've had this conversation around Chick-fil-A. Like, look, I know there's 1,000,001 ingredients in those Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwiches, but damn, they're good.
They're amazing.
They're amazing sandwiches, and I can't even tell you the last time I had one, but they are really good.
They are good,
and that's where the whole idea is that okay, I'm going to eat something like that, but I'm going to plan it.
Yeah,
I'm going to plan for it. It's just like the guy that invited me to do a workout with him. I'm like, let me get back to you on it. I'm going to plan that as a part of what I'm doing. Well, food's the same way.
It is.
It's all right. Like, we went up to Chicago, and I told you we were going to eat in Chicago, and we did. We enjoyed ourselves, but we didn't go nuts. We planned our meals.
Yes.
We had pizza. We had the beef. I had sweets. I had some sugar while I was up there. But I actually planned it, but I trained really hard while we were up there, too. I got some really great workouts in up there.
80-20, the 80-20 rule. You can play. You can have everything you want. It's just in moderation.
Listen, the scale did go up a few pounds, but that was also because I for 2 weeks, before and after, I was a little loose with the meal plan. I would snack here and there, and snack more than I have in the past. But now I'm back to dial it in.
And there's a threshold that you reach, but it's now controllable. It's understandable. You understand your macros. You understand your protein intakes. You can eat carbs, but you got to be smart about how you eat them. You know what to add, what not to add. It's a journey, And
I personally, you were talking about how your body responds with stuff. Like me personally, if I go without carbs, my body does not perform. It does not do well. And I've been like that going back into college days. I tried to go without carbs during college days. My body struggles to perform when I don't have.
But how did you figure that out? You had to figure it out.
I had to try.
And that's part of an elimination diet, is being able to figure out what foods work for you, what foods don't. And I'd love to tell you can go do a test that'll tell you. There's no test on earth. There is nothing on this earth. There's no scientist. There's no doctor. There's no guru. There's no mind reader.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What do you think about this whole people and their allergies to gluten? Is there something to that?
There is, but there's more to it, right? Gluten is a byproduct, right, of processing, right? So when you create bread, it creates the wheat sheath, but the amount of gluten is relative to the type of wheat and the type of processing, right? Now, the way you process those wheat and gluten within the North America is very different to Europe. So people with gluten intolerances here go to Europe and eat a ton of bread, had no problem.
This is what's in my head. Like, I hear you loud and clear there. What's in my head is I've heard people actually say, well, I'm allergic to gluten, or I can't eat X because it just really upsets my stomach. So it's in my head, so it causes you to shit your brains out and you think you're allergic to it.
Not always. Sometimes what happens is everyone's got a different reaction, right? But mostly what happens is it just causes extreme bloating.
Okay.
And if someone has an autoimmune disease, it can... Okay. But now, the autoimmune diseases was an interesting one.
That's something like Crohn's, right?
Yeah. So Crohn's is 100%...
That's a real thing.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
Most autoimmune diseases are a thing, but here's the kicker, right? If you listen to Barbara O'Neill, and I'm going to put a link for her. She's an amazing one, right? Great books. Every single one of them can be cured with diet. She's actually got tons of data on this.
Yeah,
right?
I believe it.
You change your diet, you can cure a lot of these autoimmune diseases, which doctors 10 years ago, they tell you they didn't exist, and now they just treat you for it and give you drugs, right? But a lot of this is controllable because you have two brains. You have Your first brain controls motor function, thought processes, and you have your second one which controls bodily function, how your body works. That's your gut.
Yeah.
Your gut is highly important. We go, well, I eat food and then I get fuel. It's not how it works. You know how you actually get fuel. You feed your gut bacteria, who breaks up the food and then feeds it to your body.
Yeah.
It's a two-pronged process. It's not like it goes and digests and it's in.
Right.
Your gut has to run it through a process, and your gut then eats the food and then releases the nutrients to you.
Yeah.
So you have to look after your gut.
Absolutely.
So you've got to be in tune. And again, to my point is, no doctor, scientist, guru, no one is going to know your body as well as you do.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, let's continue to use this gluten thing and the gut health. And again, I'm not going to cite like the type of person I'm talking about, but I know of people that will say I'm allergic to gluten, but you'll see their diet. It's, pizza, wings,
still eat it.
Shitty foods. And then they'll say, oh, well, I can't have that oatmeal. Like you suggest for eating like oatmeal for part of your breakfast meal. Oh, there's gluten in that. I can't have it. Yeah, but you can eat all this other shit.
Yeah, but this comes down to understanding what you're putting in your mouth and also understanding. So here's the thing is, oatmeal, depending on how it's processed, can actually be detrimental to your body. It can actually poison you. It's actually not as good as people think it is. However, it depends on how it was processed. So there's a type of oats that the Scottish developed, right? Basically what they do is it's just the oats lays overnight and being soaked. By that process, it softens the sheath over the oats and makes it easier for your body to digest. So again, choose the type of oats you eat.
Well, yeah, and I eat single ingredient oatmeal.
You see what I mean?
Like, so mine's literally old fashioned single ingredient. Yeah. There's
and if you flip this the other way, so my wife is legitimately allergic to gluten. She's got endometriosis, a bunch of autoimmune diseases, which she controls with a diet, right? And there's certain foods I won't eat because I don't like the way it makes me feel. Like, the other thing is, there's always generally like this in a relationship. There's two types of people. The one person is allergic to everything, and the other person is allergic to nothing. I'm the guy, I can eat anything, right? Anything. You bring it to me, I'll eat it, right? I'm just more in tune with how it makes me feel.
I'm the same way.
I'm listening to my body.
I'll use pizza as the example. Like, I love fucking pizza. But the sauce gets to me.
It makes me feel shit.
I get like an acid reflux feeling from it sometimes. And I love pizza because I grew up in a place that has wonderful pizza. But I don't eat it hardly ever because of how it makes me feel.
And that's the most important thing here is we're advocating to do a elimination diet 30 days for people who don't have a problem, right? You're not eliminating because I have a health problem. You're eliminating because you're trying to get in touch with what your body's telling you.
Yeah.
Once you've done this, you try another food. I don't feel so good eating that. And now you can start getting more in tune with what foods you eat. Like, I've eliminated a hell of a lot of foods from my diet, not because I can't eat them, and here's the thing is, some of the foods, I love eating it because most food feelings are nostalgia.
To be honest, this is exactly why I stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I like a good beer, I love a good cold beer.
Yeah.
Like, I just like dark beers. I've always, for as long as I can remember, enjoyed them. But what I would notice is if I would have like one or two beers, and I didn't drink every night. I never, ever drank during the week because I never wanted to go to work feeling a little like hungover. So it was only Friday or Saturday nights. And even if I'd have one or two, I would wake up the next day and I was like, gosh, man, like I feel like
sluggish.
Well, not even sluggish. I just had like my stomach felt upset. Like I felt like I was hungover, but I wasn't hungover.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to constantly run to the bathroom. I was like, I would actually go so far as to say, like, am I allergic to yeast? Like, what is going on?
The thing is, probably not even allergic. It's just, the thing is, again, when it comes to diet,
it just made me feel like shit.
Yeah, but this is the point. The key word here is feel, right? How do certain foods make you feel? Because we're so used to the nostalgia feeling. Mostly which gets ingrained to us from little kids, right? Because the nostalgia of the first time you go with your parents to eat a pizza, it's amazing because I'm with my friends and with my parents, and
there's a
I'm swallowing this warm, good feeling of pizza going down. The cheese is amazing and that then sticks into your brain. Same as smells, if you have smells are big, right? So there's a nostalgia factor to it.
Well, to me, to kind of go back to the beer thing, like I recognize that it made me feel how I didn't want to feel.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. So why am I doing it? Right. And so that ultimately made me go, you know what, I'm going to stop that. And it just, before I knew it, it wasn't a thing anymore. Months later,
Because you
never thought. And even today, like if today, like 20 years ago, if I would have told myself, like, when you're 44, you won't even think about alcohol, I would have been like, what? Yeah. That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
Because I just liked beer that much. And now I don't. It's not even a consideration. Like, we'll go to social gatherings where everybody's drinking all around us, and it's not even a thought. I don't want to partake in it because 2 factors. I don't like how my body responds to the alcohol itself. But I also don't like the feeling of intoxication.
Yes.
So for me, even when I would drink, I would always, if I did drink a little much because we're at a party or something, I'd drink right up into that point where I'd feel a slight buzz and then I'd stop because I never liked that feeling of intoxication. So for me, it goes back to that. But then I also recognize, okay, if I'm on the journey that I am with my health and wellness, how does that align?
There's no benefit.
There's no benefit to it.
But that's what you're doing there is that beer, that feeling, what it did for you, that happened at some point in your life.
Yeah.
Right. That good feeling that you got from it. And what happens is that then wires into your brain. Your brain then associates that feeling with that beer.
Yes.
And that is a mechanism that all of us have. We have to overcome that. The only way to do it is it's not easy. It's discipline based, right? It's a discipline thing.
Another thought that this is sparking a thought of, so what you talked about with you and Helene and like one side or the other for each other, and then it makes me think of a question that came up with people in the 30 days, right? Whether it's from alcohol or you're doing a 30-day challenge, just general health and wellness.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that believe that because the other person's not on the same page, I can't do it.
Oh, that's a great point.
Right?
I'm so happy you brought that up.
There's so many people out there that have this perspective.
That if
my wife isn't eating this way, well, I can't do it because she makes the meals. I can't do it if no one else does it. Yes. But here's the thing. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Yes.
Because you can prep your own food.
It's got nothing to do with your mom.
And you were kind of, I was one of these that I was a little bit guilty. Like I was constantly looking to my wife to buy me my vitamins. She'd have to review them, whatever. We've talked about this on the podcast before too. But especially if you're a man, and everybody that's doing the 30 days with us it's all men.
Yeah.
Okay. So to me, I'm talking to the men right now. You have to lead your family in this spot, and who cares what they all do?
Yeah.
I mean, you should care, but like my point is, you worry about you, and you control you, and you choose what you put in your mouth.
And it's not anyone else's problem.
And you establish that. Listen, this is what I'm doing.
Yes.
You know, if you're married with kids and your wife makes dinner for the family, and you explain to her like, honey, I love your meals, I love your cooking, everything you're doing, but for the next 30 days, I'm going to eat like this, and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And if you tell her, and you don't ask for permission, you just do this, and then you show her through your actions the consistency that you're going to do this, she will inadvertently follow, and she will actually support you as she sees that you're doing this. And if she doesn't, there's probably bigger issues going on.
Yeah, there's something else that you got to look at, because I've had the things that I've had people done when I say to me, especially men. You got to follow. Yeah, my wife won't cook that for me, or my wife won't do that. Like, no, dude, this has got nothing to do with your wife. If you have a wife that will do that for you, go ahead. Right? It's not her responsibility.
It's not.
This is on you. Mm-hmm. This is all on you. If she says, if you guys have a Friday night date night, and she says, I still want to do my date night. Suck it up, princess. Yeah. Go on date night. Eat before you go. Go there and have a glass of water. Look her in her eyes. Tell you how much you love her. As she's eating that food, go, how does that taste? Is it good? Take a Tupperware dish with your food in. You're already paying for a meal. They won't care.
Yep.
Have the balls to go in there and be a man about the process that you are going in. Take control of it.
Absolutely.
Right? Again, we spoke about this earlier. It's 30 days.
That's right.
Right. 30 days to rewire your psyche. 30 days to rewire your mentality. 30 days to get in touch with how your body talks to you. It is nothing in the big scheme of things.
And I will say, like you mentioned about eating before you go somewhere, like we have small kids. They have birthday parties. They have all kinds of stuff. I'm not stopping them from wanting to have a good time. It's not their, like, and I actually know a family that did this where the parents did this like really strict meal plan, trying to get themselves in shape, whatever the case, and they forced the kids to do it too. And they ended up finding that one of the children was sneaking Doritos and bad foods into the bedroom at night and binging on this stuff in the middle of the night. Ended up getting like really sick from it. But it's not the kids. Like they don't need to be punished for your choices, right? No. They are young, right? They're in a different ball game.
Lead them.
You have to lead them. And going to these parties if you go there hungry, you're going to stare at the pizza and the cake and the things that they have there for all the kids and the parents, and you're going to die to not eat it. You're going to want to eat it.
Yeah.
So either take your food with you so that you can eat while you're there, or eat before you go.
Yes.
Either one works. Sometimes you have to take the food there because you're there a while. Like Sam's done that plenty of times, especially when she was in prep. Like, taking the food with you is a good strategy because it keeps you from being hungry and staring at everything that's tasteful.
No excuses.
Exactly.
Like, this is a challenge. It's not a skip about this. This is a challenge.
Yeah.
You're doing it because you're challenging yourself. You're challenging your psyche. You're challenging your mental stability. You're challenging your body. Right, mostly you're challenging your mental state. Right,
well,
and rewiring your brain is
key.
Not easy.
It really isn't.
It's not,
and it takes a commitment, and you have to and I'm not. I want to be very cautious with this one. That we became aware of a situation this morning that was very identical to something I went through, and the reality is, like, when you're faced with this crossroad, because that's what it is. It's a true crossroad.
Yeah.
And you have to identify, like, well, the steps that I take from here will determine the outcome.
Yes.
Literally determine how this needs to be. And so you have to decide when you're at this crossroad of your life, whether it's with your food, your health, your relationships, whatever it may be, you have to literally stand at that crossroad and decide what you want it to look like.
Yeah.
How do I want this future to go? Okay, this is my desired outcome. Now I take steps towards that desired outcome. And no matter how heavy it gets, no matter how hard it becomes, you always take a step forward to that desired outcome. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
You have to have a plan. This 30-day challenge, to me, and anything that you'll face, any rewiring of your brain that you're going to do,
can help all of that.
It changes everything.
Yeah.
And I think back of, like, my 12 months of just going through everything. And it's really hard when guys go through this. All we want to do is, when we go through relationship struggles or business life, whatever it is, we want to just immediately fix everything, and we go get, like, extreme moments, if you will. There's so many things that we do to try to fix it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we perceive that it's fixed, what do? We resort back to old ways.
Straight back to default.
Where it was, right? And so it becomes this, like, really bad cycle.
Yeah.
Well, the 30-day challenge, to me, it's important. Like, it's like yo-yo diets. That's a good example of this.
Yeah.
You do a diet and you've lost your 20 pounds and you go right back to where you used to be. This is about lifestyle.
Yeah.
The 30 days is about. It's not a diet.
No,
it's not a crash diet. It's a challenge. Because it's meant to rewire your brain.
Yeah.
It's meant to fix what's broken inside of you subconsciously.
Yes.
Around food, to help you overcome and give you power back over your food.
Which then starts filtering into every other aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
So let's to end this off, let's break down what this challenge is. So anyone listening to this, I'm going to give you the baseline of the challenge. Why are we choosing to do this for the month of November? The month of November is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? It's also Men's Cancer Month, right? Men who are suffering with cancer. There's lots of different challenges going on. Two of the challenges we're going to do 2,000 push-ups for the month of November, right? So it averages out to about 66 push-ups a day.
Okay.
Right. That is for men in the veterans and military services who have committed suicide. So we're going to support them. We're going to track this thing. We're going to put out posts.
Okay.
66. I want 66 push-ups a day is your average for 30 days, but I'm going to try and hit in 100 to 200 a day.
Okay.
Right. The second thing we're doing is, if you want to do the 30-day challenge, this is as easy as it is. You need to, let's first talk about what you're not going to do. You're not going to drink alcohol. You're not going to drink soft drinks. You're not going to drink anything other than water and black coffee. Right. You can add tea to that list too. Tea without any sugars, just pure tea. When you're adding those, you can add some lemon to your water for flavor. You can also drink sparkling water. I don't care. But no soft drinks, no flavored drinks, and definitely no alcohol.
Well, that part's really easy for me.
Right, that's super easy part.
The drinks are...
Yeah, it's an easy fix, right? The second thing I want you to do is I want you to eat 5 meals. I want you to split whatever your body weight is right now. I want you to take your body weight, and you're going to get 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight.
And 5 times a day can be hard for people.
Right.
So you got to plan for that.
You got to plan for it, right? So you're going to get that protein. With each of your protein meals, your protein can be eggs, whole eggs, I don't care. Chicken, I don't care if you have the skin on. Beef, right? Choose your beef. Ground beef, steak, I don't care. Fish, go ahead. Here's the caveat. You can't cook it with seed oils. The only oils I allow is tallow, avocado oil, and on the occasion olive oil, which is not too great. You get hungry during the day, add a meal. You get hungry during the day, have black coffee, add some coconut oil or MCT oil. Right? Run that process. Have your supplements in the day. Have an exercise program. Eliminate everything else. No protein shakes, no processed foods. 5 strict meals a day. Get your protein in. 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Make sure you get 1 cup of greens in, right? Kale, arugula, baby spinach or spinach. You can eat it raw, I don't care. With that, you can have 2 cups of berries a day. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. It's got the word berry in it, go for it, right? And then try and do that for 30 days. Just 30 days. And I guarantee you, by the time you hit 30 days, if you can match this, you will not... I cannot explain to you. Kevin's going to try and articulate it because he's been through it. It changes your outlook, not just on food, but on everything requiring discipline.
Yeah, I mean, I did 75 hard. This is like a version of that, but food only.
Yeah.
We want you to train through all this, so do the training as well. But it really will rewire your brain, and you will end the 30 days going, how did I not do this sooner?
Yeah.
How did I not figure this out years ago? And you'll be so proud of yourself. You'll be motivated for what's next.
Yep.
And honestly, in my case, it almost made me want to like go faster with stuff.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It is truly worth it because it empowers you. It gives you control back over your food, where I would argue the majority don't have control of their food.
No.
And so when you finally understand it, I think is the way to say it.
That's
when
a good,
you
that's
understand
a good way.
it.
Yes.
And you realize it's like the light bulb finally turns on.
Yeah.
And you can't unsee it. And you go, man, this is really awesome.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to put the baseline of the diet out for everybody. I'm going to put a calculator that calculates.
And tell us, if you're doing this, tell us.
Yeah, pop it in the comments. If you're listening
to this, send us a message. Let's reach out. We'll help support you.
Yeah, we're going to put this out to everybody. I'm challenging every man listening to this. I'm going to put it out to all the groups we're part of. I challenge you to follow this 30-day plan, an exercise program, and to do 2,000 push-ups for the month of November.
I like it.
Right, I challenge you. I challenge you to be a better man. I challenge you to test yourself. I challenge you to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And while you're doing it, take accountability. It's no one else's problem, and be the best version of yourself.
And if you're really gung-ho and motivated and you want to add to this, hit me a message and I'll show you what I'm doing in mine. I'm adding to mine.
We'll add you to our group. We'll give you support. We'll show you what we've done.
That's right.
But I'm putting this challenge out, and we'll see who takes it up.
Let's go. And then Thanksgiving, you get to enjoy the days line up where you can enjoy your Thanksgiving. So
100%. That's the big one. We're lining this up so you can hit Thanksgiving and you can hit it hard.
That's right. All right. Thanks for listening.